Hi, ladies. Well, welcome back to She's in Charge of Business, the podcast that's for women that know they're ready for more. Hi, my name is Becky Lafave, your host and the founder of She's in Charge of Business. And together, we're going to unlock your confidence and clarity you're looking for the support that you're looking for, I should say, around taking that big, scary action in your coaching business. And today I have a guest that I'm excited to share with you. Hello there, Dawn.
Hello. How are you?
Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So let me share a little bit about who Dawn is so you can get to know her. This is Dawn Stebbing. She's a relationship, sales, and personal brand style expert. Ladies, once again, this is somebody that I have personally met at a live event at a conference, a women's conference that we were at together. And so the last couple of episodes, Dawn, we've actually had a few of the women that were at the conference on the show. So once again, ladies, it is so important. Yes, we have an amazing online business, but we also get to get out and meet other women that are crushing it in their industry. So with a knack for authentic conversations and building lasting connections, Dawn found relationship-based selling so important because me and Dawn actually sat next to each other at one of the tables and we started gabbing and we found out we have a lot in common, which is always fun when you're in business. Oh, I thought I shut up all the bells and whistles. I guess I didn't. Okay, I apologize. All right. So she empowers entrepreneurs, business owners, and sales teams to boost sales through being confident, I should say, and approaching their presence. So, ladies, we're going to talk about, once again, because we know it all goes down to this, self-confidence and sales, because we don't have a business not unless we have sales. So Dawn, this is such a huge conversation to have. But before we dive in, let's do a little bit of background, right? Because we really connected because we've both been hairstylists. Like we have something in our background that is really the same. And, you know, I don't meet too many women out there that have the same background. So it's really fun to meet somebody else that gets this kind of world.
It's funny that you remember that. Yes. I can share, really where the sales background comes from, but no matter what you do in life, we're always selling. We're always selling ourselves. So my sales journey started way back when I was younger, in my early 20s. And it makes me sound old, but however, that's when it started. And I started a career in Tupperware. And
Okay.
Oh, yeah. And it was ironic because it was at a time in my life when I was getting a divorce. And I got married at a young age, divorced at a young age, and I had 2 little boys that I had to support. And I had to figure this out. I had to figure out where I was going to get some money and put food on their backs and a roof over the hair or food in their mouth, clothes on their backs and a roof over their head. And I knew I said that wrong. And that's when my sales journey started, and I took off with it and earned my very first car. And oh my gosh, the trips I earned, the gifts I earned, it was amazing. But that was the start of my sales journey. And then it continued throughout my life and even today. So I also became a hairstylist in my early 30s. Never thought I would ever cut hair in my life. And just when you think, you'd never do something, don't ever say never, because it'll slap you right in the face. I'll tell you that right now. And then I thought to myself, could I ever do this? And so I was a hairstylist for about 13 years until I figured out that there was more to my life than just cutting hair. And so I just, my journey has grown and evolved to where I am today in helping women understand that, if you can think of sales as serving, you would be better off helping more people in your field than being afraid of it. And I love to teach women how not to be afraid of selling, because if you love what you do, you can sell just about anything.
It's true. And, especially we always say this too. If you're married, you had to sell them on that, like
That's
women go,
true.
well, I'm not in sales. Well, you are because you're married, you have children. So you've been in sales for a while.
That's true. That's true. You have to convince, or it is convincing, but it's also aligning yourself with your own values as you move
Mhm.
forward, which is really huge because your values need to match the other person's values. And if they don't match, you are going to butt up against, the wall. But again, when you think about that too, when I say that is they aren't the right people for you because they
Yes.
don't share your values. And then it's okay to say, okay, let it go and move
Yeah.
on.
I really do think of sales as like a marriage. I really do because like you said, you have the values, you share the same values. The person that's going to say yes to whatever you have to sell is because you share the same values. You have a connection. You have, it feels like a somewhat of a marriage. It's that communication portion of it. It's just the evident and flow. It's just working. So of course they want to work with you, whatever you're selling, you
Right.
know?
Right.
And that's how it kind of feels for me, maybe not to everybody else. But let me ask you, in sales, rejection is so common. And I know a lot of women that get too many no's, go, this just doesn't work. I'm not cut out for this. How do they bounce back from hearing too many no's? What would you say to that?
First of all, the best advice I ever got, ever, was it is not about you. However, if it keeps happening in your life, one of the things that helped me along my journey is I had to take a good look at how I was showing up, how I was presenting myself. Was I being pushy? Was I shoving something down their throat? Was I selling from my heart and not my head? Was it
Mm,
all about the sale versus connecting with my client or my
yeah.
customer and connecting with them on a deeper level? Just like you said about relationships and marriage, you're connecting with your partner. You can't just jump in and say, hey, marry me today. I mean, that doesn't usually happen, only on
Right.
those reality shows, but not in real life.
Yeah.
But that is really the core is it's not about you and you probably don't align with their values. However, if it keeps happening and keeps happening, you need to do a little more personal growth, personal development
Yeah.
and for yourself.
Yeah, and I believe this goes right into it too is, confidence is key in sales. So how do you avoid coming across so aggressive or pushy? Because a lot of people think sometimes because I am so confident that I can be, I live a lot in my masculine energy and it can feel pushy when I don't feel that I'm being very pushy. I feel like I'm very direct, but some people can be pushed off by that. So I'm always like living in this ebb and flow feeling of trying to get that across where it doesn't sound so pushy. So what do you say to somebody that's feeling that way?
If you're feeling pushy, it could be because you're constantly just attacking other people with your products, your services in a way that doesn't serve you or serve them, then you're going to feel pushy. One of the things is you have to understand what are their problems and the problems you want to solve. And once you understand that, then you have a connection. You build connection, you build rapport with your clients. And building that rapport, and some of you might say this takes too long. Well, no, because you and I just created a relationship a short while ago, and now we're on a call together. This relationship will continue because now when we see each other or meet each other or even see each other's stuff on social media, we can comment and we know we have this connection. But one of the things that I said earlier was when you speak from your heart instead your head,
Mm-hmm.
people feel that. People feel your heart center. And you might think I'm crazy when I say this, but it's so true because I used to think from my head. I did. I was in that space one time. I'm not just blowing smoke up nobody's, you know what. I really lived this. And it took me a while to really figure this out. But I'll tell you where my confidence came from is repetition,
Mm.
repetition, repetition, repetition in anything you do. So if you have to work on yourself, saying affirmations over and over and over again, if you have a product that you absolutely love, you're talking about it every single day, you get passionate about it. Passion is another thing, is once you're passionate about things, you don't have to feel so salesy and so pushy with your products and stuff, because it sells itself. You got to wear it. You got to actually use your product, whether it's clothing, facial products, or a service. You've got to live all of those pieces and use them. Again,
Yeah.
confidence comes from repetition.
Yeah, taking action, right?
Yeah.
Taking action and going through the process.
Right.
Because that's why I said it's, courage comes first before your confidence. You got to have
Yes.
that courage to be able to move forward, to gain the confidence to keep going through this. So, some salespeople might feel that they don't have a strong enough product knowledge. How can they build confidence in what they're selling? Whether they're in a coach, they're like I said, just a product based, they built their own product. What is it? Or maybe they're in network marketing. What is that they don't feel like they have a strong enough knowledge?
Well, that goes back to the last question again, is repetition, is understanding. Okay, if you're not passionate about what you're selling, you're not going to come across like you love it. You won't. So if you're not passionate about any product service that you're selling, and you don't believe that you're going to sell it because of maybe something's wrong, well, maybe you have to go back to the drawing board and really get to the core of why you're doing what you're doing, and understand that if you don't really believe in that, then you don't believe in yourself. You've got to believe in yourself first to believe in what you're doing. And if you want to sell, chicken, for instance, or you want to sell skincare, or you want to sell a coaching program, whatever it may be, you've got to use your product. You've got to use your services. You've got to believe in them in order to come across as confident. And understanding that if you're not, then you're not passionate about it. You're going to have to go back to the drawing board and find your passion.
Yeah. I think that's so true, because you see somebody get started in something, they're really excited about it. And then all of a sudden you lose that. It's just like, I'm not passionate about that anymore. Okay, well then end it now.
Yes.
Or go back to the
Yes.
drawing board and figure it out. Because like you said, if you're just pushing through, it's going to get harder and harder. Would you agree? Because they're like, the passion is gone.
Correct. And that's happened for me. Usually
Totally.
it's something about where you're at and where you want to go. So if you're not growing and you're stagnant, you either need help to figure it out by hiring somebody, or you've got to figure it out for yourself and figure out what is it that makes you tick. And if it's not working with you right now, then yes, you have to move on to the next level. Otherwise, you're just putting yourself to more pain and
Yeah.
agony and misery.
Yeah, like
for
you
that.
talked about earlier, I feel like if I'm not in alignment with something, my integrity cannot sell it. Like,
You're
I
right.
have to be totally in alignment with something to be able to sell anything, because my integrity is on the line, and that means everything. You have to find out, like I said, that's one of my value pieces.
Yes.
She talked about it earlier. Dawn, you talked about it earlier. Your values have got to match up. And that's how people work with people, right? Is just that exchange, like we
Correct.
talked about. So I love this conversation we're having. Well, self-confidence can be impacted by comparing yourself to others. So, you know, this could be a problem for a lot of people, compare-itis, and it
I haven't
really
heard that before, but yes.
compare-itis. So how do you stay focused on your own goals and avoid that comparison? Like, what do
Oh,
you say to that?
this is huge, because we all want to compare ourselves. especially when you're on social media. Just so you know, social media is a joke. It is a joke. I mean, people are trying to be something they're not instead of
Mhm.
being real and authentic. So you've got to be real and authentic. You've got to believe in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, then you're going to be following somebody that's a fake, because it's true, because it's always like fake it till you make it. No, you got to fake it until you believe it.
Exactly.
And how you keep yourself focused is really shutting all this other stuff off and staying on track with your own goals, your own vision, and where you want to go in life. Because if you're all over the board, this has happened to me again. I mean, I'm only speaking from my own experiences, is that I was very envious of so many people at one time in my life because they were growing and I wasn't. And I'm going, well, what's going on here? Well, it come down to they were not ethically doing things appropriately, and I was, and I'm going, well, it took me a while to figure this out. So like I said, when you're looking at social media, which a lot of people do, and they compare themselves, oh my God, she's beautiful, oh my God, this, and oh my God, that. Remember, stay in your lane. Stay in your lane. And when you stay in your lane, you're going to grow, you're going to build, you're going to go to where places that you've never thought you would go. But if you're going to keep comparing yourself to somebody else that's probably not even really doing what they're supposed to be doing, and they're just faking it, you're going to go down that rabbit hole with them.
Yeah.
So just it's really a staying focused, achieving your goals, celebrate your own successes, stick around people that really love you, believe in you, care about you, and have your best interest. And if they don't, get away from them, because if they don't have your best interest, you can tell, and listen to your intuition. Listen to yourself, your body. Your body speaks to you every single day. If it doesn't feel good, don't do it.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah. 100% agree. Being in business like we have for so long, we have done a lot of things that we've made a lot of mistakes, but I believe in mistakes are what set the journey of creating the result that you're looking for, because you end up going, well, that didn't work. What's next? What is going to work for me? Like you said, you've got to get around those women, those people that really celebrate you when you need to be celebrated as well. I too was in a position where, it was, as women, I think for the longest time, we didn't grow up this way. Celebrate yourself. Everybody gets a trophy, all the things, right?
Right.
But, and especially being an entrepreneur, like I just was like a high performer. I didn't really take time to celebrate myself, but, I was listening to a woman the other day and I thought, this is genius because it's the truth. As an entrepreneur, we do not take the time to celebrate. And you know what? When you work at any other job, and I've never worked at any job, I've never had a job. I've always owned my own business. And so I didn't recognize this. But other women that are in a corporate space or wherever you're working and you do something amazing, you got high sales this month, or you're in network marketing and you made so many sales and you're going to be the speaker, and you get knowledge, you get all the celebrations. You work in a corporate space, you made so much, you get knowledge, you get celebrated, right? And so those big achievements, you get celebrated. But as an individual entrepreneur, you don't get celebrated. You have to celebrate your own damn self.
That's
And we're
right.
not used to celebrating in our own damn selves, which you got to give yourself permission. And I don't care if it's big or small. I celebrate the shit out of everything because it's what gets my juices flowing. It's what
Right.
gets me going. And it keeps my, courage and confidence and all the things we need as a woman, as an entrepreneur in a space, like you said, so you don't have to compare yourself, right? If you're busy celebrating your life, you don't need to compare yourself. So I love that you shared that, because that's so important that we celebrate, 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 because I know a lot of women go, oh, well, what will other people think? I don't give a shit. You know what?
Love it.
Celebrate your damn self anyway.
Yep.
Live the joy that you deserve, right? So thank you for sharing that, because I think that's a huge point that women really need to hear, is really celebrate. Okay, so let's move on. Sales can be feeling emotionally draining. You know, what are some strategies that salespeople, as a salesperson, can use to maintain their confidence and motivation over time?
You said a lot of it already. However, when you got into your business, you had a vision, you had a goal, you had some idea of what you wanted to do in life. And I don't
Mhm.
care what business you are in, if you're in a corporate setting, whatever, you're doing it for a reason. Um, I remember my sister saying to me one time, this is really odd that I'm going to say this, but I was asked to speak at my aunt's funeral. And I am going, me? Why me? Why me? You know, and I got picked from my cousin. Knew I spoke, and he said, well, because you'd be good at speaking. I know you're good. You do this all the time. And you're just going to get up and say a little prayer out of the Bible. And I said, okay. And I agreed. I got up there. My sister came up afterwards and she said, you're so good at this. I could never do what you do. And I
Mm.
looked at her and I said, you're right. I could never do what you do because she's a nurse, an RN. I don't have that in me. I don't have that ambition or desire to care for people. It's
Yeah.
just, I don't have it in my soul. So think of your why. Why are you doing that? She's got her why, I got mine, and you have yours. And it's your individual why. Not anyone can tell you who, what, where, when, and how you can do your life. And don't
Right.
ever let anybody tell you that. And one of the things that I always believe in is nobody tells Dawn what to do. It's like nobody puts baby in the corner. Nobody tells Dawn what to do.
I love
I
it.
refuse to have anyone tell me who I am because I am who I am. And for so many years, I let people take my power away from me. I gave it to them and I
Mhm.
refuse to do that anymore. I will never do that anymore. And it's really concentrate on your biggest why. And then what you said earlier is it's self-care. Take
Mhm.
care of yourself. Celebrate who you are because nobody else is going to do it. You've got to do it for yourself. And, some of us have not so good marriages. Some of us have great marriages. Some of us don't have spouses, whatever. You've got to find somebody that truly, truly loves you and is in your corner that will celebrate with you. If you can't do it by yourself, bring a friend with. Some people have great mothers that support them, some don't. I get that. But you got to have a great support system. Find a mentor, a coach, somebody that will help you stay on track and keep you going and celebrate yourself. Like you
Yeah.
said earlier, you will have emotions. They go up, they go down, they go. I mean, I sit at my desk daily, right? And I know you probably do too. And there are days you sit there and stare at your screen and go, what am I going to do now? What am I going to say now? And then you have your days where you're on fire and you're typing away and you're whipping out social media
Yeah, you're
posts.
so creative and all of the things are happening in
Exactly.
alignment and you're just like fire.
Exactly. We're women. We're women. We are women. We are
Mhm.
built the way we're built, and we're going to have emotional roller coasters.
Mhm.
The best way to keep yourself, I surround myself. I have a beautiful community of people I hang around with. Did I have that years ago? No, but I learned when I started doing self development for myself, I found a community and more than one networking event, but networking events that surrounded myself with great, positive people.
Yeah.
And the more I went, the more I wanted to go, is
Yeah.
because I didn't
Totally.
get that at home.
No, and it is because they, we understand each other. We understand how our brains work. We are entrepreneurs, and not everybody around you is an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
So it's like they don't understand the mindset and everything that it takes. And having my own girlfriends, right? I have a core group of girlfriends that are none of them are entrepreneurs. They are the other part of me, right? And then I have a core group that is just entrepreneurs that, hey, if I'm having a shit day, like I can call her because she gets me.
Yeah.
She gets it and she knows how to encourage me to get out of it, or just to be a listening ear. Sometimes you just need to listen, and that's the support you need, but
Yes.
she understands that more, for sure.
Yes. And they do, when they get to know you and they know you very well, they got your back. I mean, you have their back, they have your back. It goes back and forth, and we all need support no matter where we go. You could have had a fight with your husband or significant other or whatever in the morning, and you feel like crap, and all of a sudden you got to put your good face on, right? It's like, oh my gosh, how do I do this now? You've got to leave it at the door, turn on some music on your way to your event, whatever it is to pump you up again and put that smile on your face, and let that go. You can deal with it when you come back to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we've all been there. No one's perfect. My
No
gosh.
one's perfect. It's so funny. I just, in my meditation this morning, it came to me was, what you worried about yesterday, 5 days ago, you don't even remember what you were even worried about. So wasting your time on that ish is not even worth it. And it's so funny that we're talking about this, and that's the truth, right? You got to get past that, whatever you got going on, and step into the woman that you already are and keep moving forward. So I love this message. Thank you so much for being on this podcast today, Dawn, and sharing your greatness with us. And also, I know that you have a gift for us. So could you please share what your gift is?
Yes, my gift is, and I have a quiz that I am offering, and it's around accelerating your sales. And if you feel that you're lacking in any part of your sales process, this quiz will help you open up your eyes and take a look at what is it that you need more of. And I'm happy to share that with you. And after you take the quiz, if you're looking to have a conversation, I'm open to having a conversation with you.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Dawn. Ladies, everything will be in the show notes, all the links that she's talking about, and that way you can grab this quiz. That sounds very interesting. So that's exciting. So thanks again, Dawn, for being here.
Thank you for
And
having me.
we'll talk to you really soon. So,
Okay.
ladies, here we are at the very end of this podcast, but it's not the end of our show. It never is. So until next time, own it, embrace it, and celebrate the shit out of it, because you, my friend, are taking charge.